morning, everybody. My name is Bethany, and I'm here with Yoga for Change. I'd like to share with you a practice for hip and lower body mobility. So if you'd like to join me, this should be about 20-25 minutes. And we'll begin by taking a comfortable shape. So you might want to sit, you might want to kneel or lie down on your back or your side. Truly any shape is welcome. And as we begin to settle in and get centered, begin by bringing your attention to your breath. And as you bring your attention to your breath, can you begin to release the grip of your mind any amount? And stay with the sensations that arise in your physical body. For example, can you feel the weight of your body being held by the floor? Can you feel the touch of the breath in the nose, in the back of the throat, and in the lungs? And can you feel that massage of breath every time you inhale and exhale? The ripple of that breath moving even into parts of the body that don't directly involve the mechanism of breathing. So for example, as the diaphragm draws down and you draw breath in, it's also massaging the organs of digestion and reproduction. Whole body breathing with every inhalation and exhalation. And as we stay with the sensations of the physical body, are you able to stay in this present moment and resist the temptation to jump into the past or the future? The mind is very good at drawing us out of the present. And part of our daily practice is to practice coming back to the body when we notice that we've gone into the past or the future. And you can come back into the body by staying with sensation. The body's never in the past or the future. The body's always in the present moment. Sensation can arise in the physical body or it can arise in the emotional body. And try to stay present with whatever arises, even if it feels unpleasant. And as we sink more and more into this present moment, can you begin to ask yourself what you need from this practice today? That answer will arise. And I don't want your mind to answer it. I'd like your body to let the answer settle into the physical, and we'll find our way to the answer through our movement practice. When your body feels ready for movement, your eyes will spontaneously open. If that hasn't happened for you quite yet, just join me when it has. If you chose sitting as your shape, you can begin to move down into a lying on the back position. And take your time getting there, so you can begin to gently lower yourself down. Keep your knees bent with your feet touching the mat. And bring your hands onto your hip points. So here in the very front of the body, these little points of your hips, bring your fingertips there, let them lightly rest. And begin to feel the shape of your back body in its neutral state. So my head is touching the mat, but my neck is not. That's a natural, beautiful curve of the spine. My shoulders are touching the mat. I can feel my rib cage touching the mat. But my lower back is not touching the mat. It's in its neutral shape. And the neutral shape is slightly off of the mat, just like the neck. And now I'm going to ask you to flatten your low back, exert effort so that you can feel your low back imprinting on the mat. And you also might feel like if you had a tail, you're tucking your tail between your legs. So I want you to stay like that. And then begin to keep tucking your tail any amount more. Begin to peel your spine up off of the mat. If you can imagine doing this one vertebra at a time, it's a very slow movement. Good. Moving towards a shape that looks like a bridge pose in yoga, but this is a glute bridge. So we're tucking our tail between our legs as opposed to doing a back bend. We're just using our bum to lift our hips and hold here. Pretend you're going to move your feet. Do not actually move them, but pretend you're going to pull your heels towards your head and notice where that enlivens the back of your legs. And you can release that effort. Again, imagine you're pulling your heels towards your head without actually moving your feet. Engage the back of the legs and release. And now let's begin to roll back down one vertebra at a time, or the best that you can. Bringing your attention to your spine so that you sense, is my spine moving one vertebra at a time, or are there some chunky parts where like 3 or 4 vertebrae move together, which is okay. I just want you to notice. And when your bottom touches the mat, you can completely relax all effort. Let your back take its neutral shape. So it'll have that little arch to it, similar to your neck curve. And we're going to take a few moments here just to feel. Where do I feel sensation? And you can stay in this position, and we'll do the same exact thing again. Or you can explore stepping your foot, one foot, and then the other foot, so both feet, and a foot farther away from your head. So it's just a little bit farther away. And then let's do the same thing. I'm going to curl my tail between my legs, flatten my low back so that it's touching the mat, and then curl my tail between my legs any amount more until my bum begins to lift up off the mat, and maybe I can begin to peel my spine off one vertebra at a time, and you'll notice this is difficult. If your feet have moved a little bit farther away from your head, you're probably not going to come up as high. Pause where you can, and then begin to pull your heels towards your head without actually moving them. So energetically, I'm drawing them towards my head, engaging the back of the legs, and then releasing. And one more time, pulling the heels towards the head, engaging the back of the legs and my bum, releasing. And let's slowly begin to roll down. So I'm lengthening the spine. Imagining that I'm tucking my tail between my legs any amount so that I can touch one vertebra at a time, or notice if some vertebrae just have a really hard time articulating. When your bum touches, you can pause, release effort, and let your back take its neutral shape. So if we release effort, the back will naturally go into its resting shape allow it to do that. And we'll pause here with the sensations that have arisen from that work. So you might be feeling a lot of sensation in your hamstrings and the back of the legs. If your hamstrings are cramping, definitely address that. That's very painful, and I don't want that experience for you. So please. And now you can stay in this shape. If this shape was a little more effort than you want to do, then walk your feet a little bit closer. The last one, where you might be able to explore stepping your feet a little bit farther away. Now in this shape, my feet are not touching the mat. My heels are, but my entire foot is not anymore because they're too far away for that. And let's again flatten the low back towards the mat. Pretend that you're curling your tail between your legs. Begin to flatten, flatten, flatten until maybe the bum is lifting up. If your legs are a little bit farther away, it's going to be much harder. If it's too much, then come down. Move your heels a little bit closer to your head. Good. See if you can release any tension in your toes. And now pull the heels towards the head without actually moving them. Engage and breathe. Release. Pull the heels towards the head without actually moving them. Breathe. Good. Release. And let's lengthen as we lower. So I feel like I could touch every single vertebra as it's going down. There's a little chunky part there. That's okay. I've brought my awareness there. Good. When your bum touches, you can completely relax. If your heels have been farther from your head, you can begin to walk your feet back in. Take a moment here just to feel those sensations. So in yoga, we like to create stress on the body. And then when we release that stress, how quickly can we rebound? How quickly can we come back to our natural breath? Building resilience in the body and in the mind. Let's take our feet a little bit wider apart. And depending on the length of your legs, we're all different shapes, your feet might not even be on your mat anymore. Mine are actually off of my mat. And I'm dropping the knees to the right, lifting the knees back up to the center, dropping the knees to the left. Yes, and then side to side at your own pace. I'm going to release any tension that might have been gained from that practice. And the next time your knees have dropped to the right, let's pause there, keep the knees there. I'm going to roll my heart, my ribcage, and everything towards the right, keeping my legs in that shape, and then press myself up so I'm sitting sideways. I have a lot of weight on my right hip. I have none on my left. Again, we're all different shapes. Our pelvis is a bowl, so this is normal, right? Good. My right arm is here to prop me up. I might want to walk my right arm a little bit farther away in this position. I'm going to begin to lift my left leg up off of the mat. So it's hovering a little bit. My right elbow's bending, and I'm going to be tipping myself a little bit towards the right. You can explore how much of this leverage you want. You might want a lot of leverage. That would be tipping yourself a lot to the right, or you might want a little less. Yeah. My left hand is just lounging here on my left leg, and I'm going to begin to move my left knee towards my right knee and move it back. Yeah. Just moving it around in this shape, feeling the weight of that leg and what muscles need to work to keep it hovering. Yeah. So it's very tempting to collapse into gravity here on my right arm, and that would look like this. So I'm going to try to push the floor away and create some space between my shoulder and my ear. Yeah. Good. And the next time my left leg is back, I'm going to float myself up. Yeah. I'm going to rock myself backwards, bring my hands back, let my legs come up through the middle. I'm going to hover here in the middle and grab behind my thighs onto those hamstrings. And I'm curling my back here. I'm actually rounding. Good. Maybe the legs can feel like they can hover a little more. Maybe you can take your arms away. This is a little transition. I'm just throwing it in there. And let's begin to shift the knees over to the right. Same shape of legs. Left hand can come down for support. You might want to walk it out a little bit. Just see where you feel are most comfortable. And then wherever you are, begin to hover the right leg now. And you can begin to draw it so that it's hovering over the left knee and then press it back. So again, explore leverage here. You could lean a little bit farther away, or you could be a little bit more upright. Upright is gonna just create a lot more muscle engagement, but find where your energy level is today and what you want to do. My right arm is just kind of chilling here. Yeah, nice. The leg's heavy, yeah. And the next time the right leg is over here, to the right more, I'm gonna set it down, float myself up. I'm gonna take a second here just to feel, we've done both sides now, and just feel what you're feeling. Rock yourself back, bring your arms back, flip your legs through the center again. I'm gonna hold here in the middle. My back is actually rounded. I'm tucking my tail between my legs again, so that I'm coming to sit back on my sacrum a little bit, which is a pretty wide, broad bone that can give us some support. Just see how that feels for you. If it's uncomfortable, then find a different shape. Again, we're all different shapes and sizes. I'm gonna bring my hands down, shift my legs over to the left again. Good. My right hand is here for support if I need it. I'm gonna begin to hinge through the center. So I'm hinging forward, lengthening the crown of my head towards this long edge of the mat and coming back up. So I'm hinging at my hips, lengthening forward. And your hands can be down touching the mat or your own body, or you can explore lifting your arms up. Arms can be up and out to the side. Arms can be bent with the fingertips touching the back of your head. There's a lot to explore. If you're feeling unstable, touch the earth, touch yourself on your legs. Just find where you feel supported. There's a lot of options. Yeah. And the next time you come up, hands back, you can rock your legs through the middle, go to the other side. Yeah. Just take a moment settling in on this side. Hands can touch the earth, get really tall. Let's begin to hinge forward through the middle. And just stay with the sensations you're feeling in your body. Hinging forward, lifting up. So I'm lengthening through the crown of my head, lengthening out at the low back, getting longer as I hinge and lift. Again, you can explore taking the hands up off of the mat. You can explore bending your elbows, bringing your fingertips behind your head. And notice what muscles are engaging to keep you up, to lift the weight of your upper body up. Good. And the next time you come up, wherever your arms are, just let them be. I'm gonna rock myself back. I'm not gonna use my hands here. I'm just gonna see what happens if I rock back, my knees come up. I'm not using my hands. Again, I switch my legs over to the other side by just rolling around on my pelvis itself. Yeah. Sometimes you can do it, sometimes you need to use hands. It might be a movement you've never done in your life. Your body just needs to have control for a moment before you get it. So in this position, I'm going to take my left hand, slide it under my left shin, right near the ankle bone. That's a good space for me with my body. You might be different. Then I'm going to begin to lift the lower leg up off of the mat. The knee is down, and then let it lower back down. So lifting the leg up. I'm rolling this leg bone in my hip socket. Yeah. And if you're curious what this would be like without the left hand doing it, That's what it looks like. So you could lift the lower leg with the knee touching the floor without using your arm, and just see how much more effortful that is. The next time the lower leg is touching the mat, I'm going to do the opposite and lift the knee up, but keep the foot touching. Yeah. Nice. Beautiful. Next time that knee is touching, I'm going to rock myself back. I'm not going to use my hands. You might want to. And I'm going to roll, shift my legs to the right. Good. Same thing on this side. You might need the left hand for support. I'm going to slide the right hand underneath the right ankle. Find the spot that feels best for you and your body. And then I'm gently lifting the lower leg up, letting this leg bone roll in the hip socket and lowering it back down. Let's explore how this is different from the other side. As we're all unique and we're all asymmetrical. That's just the way nature is. And again, if you're curious of what that would be like without using the hand, it usually doesn't go as high. It's fun, huh? Yeah. Sometimes you can get a cramp here in this muscle. Usually a cramp just means the muscle is quite clearly telling you, I cannot lift that much weight right now. And that's fine. That's why we have our hand. So progressively load it. You can use your hand to start and then you can move on. Okay. And then once that lower leg is touching the mat, see if you can lift the knee up but keep the foot down. Good. Beautiful. Just notice what is stabilizing you, what is mobile. Exploring the wonder of the body. Good, next time that knee is down, just take a moment. I'm gonna bring my hands forward, flip myself so that I'm in an all fours kneeling position and I'm facing the short edge of my mat. Just notice how your wrists feel here. You could always come onto your fists if your wrists need a little more support. So on fists or hands down. Turn your toes under here. Press into your hands. Hover your knees a little bit up off the mat. Just a little bit. It's almost as if your belly button is lifting your knees up. And then I'm going to push with my hands, hinge back, and then shift myself forward. Hinging back, shifting forward. See how this feels for you in your hips, where your leg meets your body. Good, and the next time you're forward, you can slowly lower your knees to the mat. Come into a really tall kneeling shape. Arms are forward here. Grounding down into the tops of the feet. And then staying in this shape, I'm hinging backwards. And I'm only going to go as far as I comfortably can, and gliding myself back up. Hinging back. And gliding back up. 2 more. Good job. You're going to feel that in your front of your legs, probably. Next time you're up, come back down, bringing the hands back down. Nice job. Turn the toes under. You might want to take your knees a little farther apart. You'll know soon enough if that's what your body wants. I'm going to walk my hands in closer, lift my knees up, come towards a little squatting shape. Either your hands can be up off of the mat or they can be touching. If your knees do not like this shape, press yourself up a little taller. So this would be your squatting, or this might be your squatting. Find what your body likes. If you're feeling resistance, you're probably at a yellow light. If you're feeling pain, you're at a red light. Do not be there. Move back. Yeah. So then we're going to walk forward again. And take that shape again by slowly walking back. Coming towards a squatting shape. Hands up or hands down. Find your shape. Your squat might be up here. Okay. And we'll do this a few more times at your own pace. Wherever you are is perfect. I want you to feel the sensations you're feeling in your body and try to stay out of any criticism or any judgment that's coming from your mind. Beautiful. Next time you're on all fours, take a moment. You might want to wiggle your bum side to side. You might need to come up onto tippy fingers here, or you might need to come up onto books or blocks. You're going to know soon enough. So I'm taking my right knee, I'm hovering it. I'm going to cross it behind my left knee. And then I'm going to take my left knee, float that knee up off the mat, take it and cross it behind my right. I'm inching myself backwards. Then my right goes behind my left. Left goes behind my right. Good, now I'm at the back of my mat. I'm going to do the opposite. So this is kind of a brain game. Now I'm lifting the back knee up, bringing it around front. Good. Crawling forward. Right knee comes forward. Goes. Yeah, so this part, lifting the knee and bringing it through, this might be where you need your hands higher. Because sometimes your leg might be longer, it might have very long legs, and this, trying to get it to come around, you just need more space. You just need to be higher. So crawling towards the front of your mat. And then going backwards again. And then we'll come forward about to the middle of the mat. Good. So whatever leg is in front does not matter. I want you to take your feet a little bit wider. And then begin to walk your hands back. I like to pause where I'm feeling sensation in my hips, where I'm feeling my hips stretching. Sometimes if I walk myself all the way back and let my bum come down, I don't feel the stretch back here. But I do feel it here. So I want you to feel, where are you feeling sensations of resistance and stretching in your hips? Pause there. This might also be a situation where you might need something under your hands. Secondly, you might need those same things underneath your bum. So find what works for you. We have 2 more rounds of breath. Now I'm going to tell you a little fancy way to get to the other side. So my left leg is in the front right now. My feet are not going to move. I'm just turning my toes under. And then I'm going to begin to roll out. My feet they're moving, but they're not stepping away. And then I'm going to spin myself around to the other side. Okay. Now, if you lost your way doing that, that's totally fine. You'll just take the front leg, switch it around behind the back, and then take the other seat. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a fun variety of things to do. So just find where you're feeling a sensation of stretching. Much different for me on this side. Might be for you too. Good. When I feel that stretching sensation, again, you might need blocks to prop your hands up a little higher. You might need the blocks underneath your bum. So find what you like. Once I find that sensation that feels like it's lengthening, but it's not painful, I'm going to stay right here. And then when you're ready, you can begin to come out, coming forward. And then I'm going to let you come down into a resting shape. You can either stay sitting or you can come down and lie down completely. Bring your attention back to your breath. You can rest here for 10 or 15 minutes, or you can rest here for as long as you want. I like to set up myself a little timer so that I know if I have a time constraint that the timer will go off, so I'm not worrying about like, oh, I don't want to be here for an hour. So I give myself a set amount of time to rest. Resting is our goal. Resting is why we move around, so that we can have deeper rest. Give yourself permission to rest deeply. I'll leave you there. Namaste.